Welcome back, Wildcat Nation, to episode 11 of season 6. I'm Abby Harvey with Isaac Wolf, and today we're spotlighting the Esports Team. We are joined by senior Smash Ultimate player Jordain Brown and freshman Rocket League player Jeb Byrd.
The Wildcats just finished the regular season for all three esports teams. Team Captain Brown and Smash Ultimate ended their fall season despite Brown's comeback of 7 stocks to take IU Kokomo to their last stock and hit. They returned to action in January. As for Byrd, he dominated against Saginaw Valley State with 6 goals and 14 saves for Rocket League, and he led the team to a playoff spot in the Midwest Conference. Valorant, the third esports team, also locked in a playoff spot in the Central Conference.
Before we get started, here's your Crossroads League Week in Review.
I'm Isaac Wolf with your Crossroads League Week in Review. The fall sports opening rounds at host sites are complete, so let's take a look at who's moving on to the national site in both soccer and volleyball. In volleyball, number 3 Indiana Wesleyan continues to dominate, sweeping Talladega of Alabama on Saturday. This was the second year in a row the Wildcats faced the Tornadoes in the first round, as last year's match went to 4 sets. Ava Joldersma led the team in kills with 12, aided by 36 assists and 10 digs from Abby Porter. The Wildcats received the second seed and have Montana Tech and Missouri Baptist in their pool. Number 14, Mount Vernon took care of Lindsey Wilson of Kentucky in 4 sets. Senior standout Lissy Snoffer led the team in kills with 20 and digs with 22. The Cougars have earned the number 13 seed in the tournament, and the opponents in their pool are Concordia of Nebraska and the Masters of California. Number 22, Marion rolled past Columbia International University on Saturday, defeating the Rams 3-1. Corey Dryden led the Knights with 13 kills, while Emma Lyons supported with 20 digs, and Logan Smith added 19 assists. The Knights earned the 20th seed and will have Bellevue of Nebraska and Providence of Montana in their pool. All pool play games will take place Wednesday, December 4th to Friday, December 6th in Sioux City, Iowa. Number 24, Grace fell to Missouri Baptist 3-2, but that is not the end of the Lancers season. They will compete in the NCCAA National Championships hosted by the College of the Ozarks. The Lancers won last year's NCCAA title and will look to repeat as they face College of the Ozarks Wednesday, December 4th at 3:45 p.m. In men's soccer, number 7 Indiana Wesleyan shut out Milligan of Tennessee 3-0. 3 different Wildcats scored a goal. However, the story of the game was Yarrick Carnegie, as he got ejected with 5 minutes left in the game and will be suspended for the Wildcats' next game against William Carey of Missouri on Tuesday. Carnegie is the Wildcats' second leading scorer on the season. Number 11 Marion was upset by unranked Oklahoma City in double overtime 3-2. The Knights end their season with a 14-5-3 record as they reach the national tournament for the first time in program history. Number 14, Bethel downed Indiana Tech 1-0 in overtime. Tiago Dos Santos scored the winning goal in the 96th minute off the assist from Sami Sharaf Amal. It was Dos Santos' first goal of the season. The Pilots will play number 3 seeded William Penn of Iowa at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Spring Arbor's Cinderella run continues as they upset the number 16 seed Clark of Iowa 2-0 and will now face the number 1 overall seed Dalton State of Georgia at 10 a.m. on Monday, December 2nd. The Cougars have not lost since October 16th against Grace. At number 13, Huntington got slid on 6-1 in their opening round matchup against Mid-American Nazarene, last year's defending national champs. In women's soccer, number 8 Spring Arbor defeated St. Ambrose of Iowa 3-2 on Saturday. 3 different Cougars scored, and they will face the 9th seeded Savannah College of Art and Design on Monday, December 2nd. Number 12, Marion shut out Life University of Georgia 3-0. Naomi Walters scored 2 of the 3 goals for the Knights, who face 5th-seeded College of Idaho on Monday. Indiana Wesleyan upset 15th-seeded Cumberland of Tennessee 1-0. Alejandra Tavares scored her 5th goal of the season for the game's only score in the 82nd minute. The Wildcats, just like the men's team, will play William Carey on Tuesday. The difference being William Carey is the number 2 overall seed in the women's bracket. That game kicks off at 10 a.m. In men's basketball, the story of the week was number 3 Indiana Wesleyan's 0-2 start to conference play, dropping a road battle with number 13 Huntington on Wednesday and a home game against number 21 Grace on Saturday. The Wildcats were without graduate forward Dewan Pruitt, who will miss some time with an ankle injury. It's the first time the Wildcats have started 0-2 in conference play since 2007, and the first time they've lost back-to-back games since February of 2023. They have a week and a half off and will look to bounce back on the road at Bethel, who is currently 8-0 after upsetting Huntington 96-90 on Saturday. Alonis Pashulis and Luke McBride combined for 53 points in the win for the Pilots. In women's basketball, number 2, IWU moved to 9-0 with conference wins over Huntington and Grace. The Foresters gave the Wildcats a fight as the final score was 81-79. Gabby Melby dropped 36 points on 11-17 shooting for Huntington, and it was almost enough as Annika Nelson was fouled on a 3-point attempt in the final second of the game. She needed to make all 3 to tie the game, but she went 1 for 3 from the line and cost the Foresters the chance at overtime. Number 18, St. Francis is also 9-0 after double-digit wins over Taylor and Goshen. Callie Gregory averaged 25.5 points per game across the 2 wins, and Cassidy Crawford added 18.5 points per game. The Cougars' next matchup comes on Wednesday in Fort Wayne against Huntington. That game tips off at 5:30. Number 19, Marion is 8-1 after wins against Grace and Spring Arbor this week. In the win over Grace, Abby McNally dropped 38 points and 15 rebounds, shooting 18 of 23 from the field and playing all 40 minutes. The Knights will host St. Thomas of Florida on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. before a week off ahead of their conference matchup against Taylor on December 7th. In Crossroads League awards, the volleyball season awards were announced, and it's a lot of Indiana Wesleyan. Head coach Candace Moats won Coach of the Year. Assistant coach Dan Bergeron won Assistant Coach of the Year. Ava Joldersma won Player of the Year. Abby Porter won Setter of the Year. And Marin Sanchez won Freshman of the Year. The only non-Wildcat to receive an award was Emma Lyons of Marion, as she received the Libero of the Year award. Cross-country All-Americans were also announced. Indiana Wesleyan's Eli Fullerton was named an All-American, as well as Matthew Keatoney of Goshen, Luke Harbor of Taylor, Cole Johnston of Grace, Charles Ledke of Marion, and Tristan Trevino of Marion. On the women's side, freshman sensation Janie Halterman, who won the individual national championship, was named an All-American for Taylor, as well as Noelle Vanderwall and Anna Niedick of Taylor. Katie Woods of Marion, Kylie Sauter of Grace, Esther Cameron of Grace, Addie Dewey of Indiana Wesleyan, and Mercy Chabet of Goshen were also All-Americans. As for this week's Crossroads League Players of the Week, the Women's Basketball Offensive Player of the Week is Abby McNally of Marion. McNally helped number 19 Marion to wins over Grace and Spring Arbor with 23.5 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. In the win over Grace, McNally joined Marion's 1,000-point club with the program best 38 points. The Women's Basketball Defensive Player of the Week is Lily Frazier of Indiana Wesleyan. Frazier tallied 5 steals and 18 rebounds for number 2 Indiana Wesleyan in its wins over Huntington and Grace. In addition to the 9 rebounds and 2.5 steals per outing, Frazier posted 17.5 points and 4 assists. The Men's Basketball Offensive Player of the Week is Ian Rosh of Grace. Rosh led number 21 Grace to wins over number 3 Indiana Wesleyan and Marion with 19.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2 steals per win. Rosh shot 8 of 13 from the field in each game, shooting 61.5% for the week. The Men's Basketball Defensive Player of the Week is Anton Webb of Taylor. Webb held his main defensive assignments to a combined 16 points on 15 shots over 2 games, while also averaging 3 steals, 1 block, and 8.5 defensive rebounds per game. Webb also scored 17 points per game on 62.5% shooting. The Women's Bowler of the Week is Devin Thomas of Spring Arbor. Thomas took 8th of 150 bowlers at the NAIA Invitational with a 5-game scoring average of 200.2 and a game high of 241. The play of Thomas helped Spring Arbor finish 6th of 16 in the team standings. And the Men's Bowler of the Week is Brendan Riley of Goshen. Riley repeated the award, averaging 225 pins per game for Goshen at the Warrior Classic. The freshman paced 3rd of 101 competitors at the event and scored over 200 in each game. That's all for this week with your Crossroads League Week in Review. I'm Isaac Wolf.
Since IWU Esports is fairly new to campus and a new program in the sporting world, can you guys kind of explain the program here at IWU?
It's video games in college. That's basically it. Valorant, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, competitive games. Not Super Smash Brothers traditionally, but some competitive games just in the college atmosphere.
Yep. Some of us are on scholarship. Some of us just walked on. And yeah, scholarships aren't like full rides or anything. It's just like $1,000, but still,
yeah,
good incentive to play.
Is it just as fun as playing video games when you guys were growing up? Or is it a little bit different with the competitive collegiate aspect to it?
It feels better when you win. It's like you're winning for the school, so it feels nice to. Yeah, I mean, losses hurt more and wins feel even better, so it matters more, I guess.
It was a bit of a learning curve for me because I spent so long just like playing it in my free time and like playing it in the privacy of my own bedroom, and suddenly it's like broadcasted across whoever wants to watch it. So that was a little bit daunting for me, but yeah, like Jeb said, it's a lot more fun when you're winning.
How did both of you guys get into or choose, however that process goes, the specific game that you guys play for the team?
So basically Rocket League, it's car soccer. I have no interest in cars or soccer, but for some reason put together, I just find it a blast for some reason. I got it for Christmas, I think, 2017 or 2018. So I've been playing for like 6 or 7 years around that. To be honest, I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but yeah.
For me, Super Smash Brothers came out when I was in high school, and I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Like Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Mario Party, anything like that, I'm there. So I picked it up in high school, but I dropped it because I started playing basketball here, and that ate a lot of my time. But afterward, I was like, hey, they got Smash Bros tryouts. I might as well go see what they got going on. And
When did you guys know it was a possibility to play your game at a collegiate level? And then Jordain, how was the process of switching sports?
A local college like put out some like article. Franklin College, they said like, oh, we're doing esports, blah blah blah. And I was like, I wonder if any other colleges are doing this. Now I looked at IWU, and they had a new program, so I was like, Christian college, it's got a good community. I think it'd be fun to play here, and yeah.
For me, that happened because the Smash Bros team is new. So esports has been around for 2 years. Smash Bros, like this is its first year off the ground. So I just found out this semester when I walked on. But switching sports, I'm a lot less sore every day. Like physically, I feel pretty good, but mentally, it's like I don't know. Like Super Smash Brothers is such like a mental game. It gets to a point where like it is just like a bunch of little tic tac and like mental gameplay. I don't know, just trying to psych each other out in some ways.
Is there any sort of recruiting process for this, or how did you end up choosing IWU? And then take me through your recruiting process with basketball.
I know the coach here, Ryan Plummer. He is always looking to trying to find people, but I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, I play Rocket League, and then I just had like some online interview with him, and he ended up giving me a scholarship. So
does he like look at how you does he watch you play, or how does that work?
At first I just told him like my rank. That's basically all it is. You just tell him it's just basically you tell him how good you are, and then he didn't even watch me play. He just okay, you're probably good enough.
For basketball, I was part of the COVID class, so Coach Clark and my dad were like in contact for some time before I came up for a visit, and they watched me play, and I went through a workout at the barn. I barely saw the campus because it was COVID time, so I took one step inside the student center, and they said, that's it. And that's when we went to the workout. But yeah, I'd say it felt like a week, but I think Coach Clark and my dad were in contact for like a month.
Any other schools going after you, or was IWU
yeah, so about that, along with like being part of the COVID class, like my senior season got canceled for high school, so I treated all my college as like bad girlfriends, and I ghosted them. Like I just stopped talking to everyone. So,
That's wild.
it is wild, but yeah, I got really depressed in a way, and I was like, I'm just done. I'm not gonna play basketball. I'm not gonna go to college. And that's when I was like, you know what? Next school that talks to me, I'll see what they got going on, and it happened to be IWU. So.
And then did you just tell the coach too about you playing? Like, did he have to watch you or rank or?
I mean, Coach Plummer.
Yeah.
Coach Plummer. I walked in on walk-on day, and they were literally just like, yeah, you're on the team. And like I hadn't even played a game yet, but once they saw me play, they were like, all right, like that's good. I ended up being team captain, so that's where I'm at.
So what's the team dynamic with having technically like 3 different rosters?
We are split teams, of course. Smash will practice 3 to 5, Valorant 5 to 7, and then Rocket League 7 to 9. So sometimes we'll see each other as a whole esports team, but mostly it's just split into individual practices.
Yeah, it's pretty seldom that like the entire like esports program is like together in the same place. Also, shout out to Coach Plummer, because I just now realized he's practicing essentially from like 3 to 9.
Oh,
yeah, it's nuts. Working.
So do you guys ever do like bonding outside of practice, like all together? You guys just don't see each other? Wow.
So Jordain, with being a senior, well, 5th year, I guess, and team captain, what have been your ways of leading your team this year?
I try to do everything like out of a place of love. Like, you know, like I've been trying to just like, because they're more familiar with this culture than I am. Like I played basketball for the past 4 years, and the gaming culture is a lot different. So I tried to really like humble myself and like take like a more like listening role and like see where I can like feed into their lives just off of like watching them and like seeing how they interact with stuff. We are like the entire team is like freshmen, so it's a transitionary period, especially fall semester. But I just try to speak into their lives where I can, help them out where I can. I don't know. I don't try to do too much.
What's the biggest difference between the esports program and the basketball program? And did you learn anything in your 4 years of basketball that you can translate to this?
Yeah. So biggest difference is 2 hours of physical labor versus 15 minutes. We work up like 15 minutes for like the esports program, so that's a lot better for my body, of course. One of the biggest things I learned from basketball that translates is just like, I don't know, just like holding myself to like a higher standard in like a professional kind of sense. Like Wildcat time, I still abide by Wildcat time. So like I show up to places 5 minutes early. The I am third culture, I try to take that into like whatever I do, but especially with like the esports guys, like I'm not looking to walk in there and be like, hey, I'm the best player in here. Like I'm trying to figure out how to serve my team and how to, I don't know, make them better. Because like again, like it's the first year, they're all freshmen, I'm a senior, 5th year, I guess. But I'm on my way out, they're on their way up, so I'm just trying to like do what I can to make an impact for them.
And for you, with being a freshman, what has been the biggest adjustment for you, school and esports wise?
It hasn't been much of like a difficult adjustment. I'm just with video games, like I'm just here to play. It's not like a big difference from like playing in your room to like playing in with a team. Like it's still the same game, but school wise, it's been pretty nice. As a freshman, I've met a lot of good people here. Yeah.
What does a week of practice look like for you guys? And like what goes on outside the facility and on your own? Is there more, training that you do by yourself, or is it all with the team?
So for us, typically we practice Monday through Friday, but on Tuesdays and Saturdays is when we have our matches this past semester. So, and that's actually typically a lot more practices than like most esports teams practice, apparently. Like they only practice like a couple days out the week, but we practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, we have Fridays off. So 3 days we're practicing and 2 days we're in matches. And there's a lot of guys that just like get working like whenever. Like sometimes they're there from like 10 o'clock till midnight. Sometimes it's like early in the morning, but like it's pretty seldom that like I walk inside the esports room and like no one's in there at all.
Yeah, for Rocket League team, we usually go Monday through Fridays. Thursdays will be our games. Once a week we'll start our practices with devotions. We're going through genre now, so that's been good. Yeah, a lot of guys will get practice in their own time as well, because we want to strive to be the best we can.
Is there any physical practice you guys do?
So we do start out, except the days that we're walking through John, but we will have a 15-minute warm-up, physical warm-up at the rec center. Some may say it doesn't do much, but I think it's good.
Of?
It's still beneficial.
What does the workout consist of? Or the warm-up?
I mean, literally anything you want. Like, sometimes I'll just do like, you don't have a lot of time, so like I'll just do like pull-ups or like rows or like overhead press. I don't know. It's pretty random, to be honest.
And does your team do that too?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you guys do?
Literally whatever. Like I walk in most times because I have class, so I walk in late. So I just like saw how many push-ups I could do in 2 minutes, and like that was my workout, just about.
With your team, you guys have postseason coming up, isn't it today?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what are your hopes and goals for the Rocket League team?
I want us to get that natty.
All right.
So there's like 8 different divisions. We're Division 4, so right in the middle of the pack. We're playing the number 1 seed of Division 4 tonight in the Century Hall. I think it's Century Hall dining room or something like that. Yeah, we're the 8th seed, but I think we can pull it off if we just focus on our game. Yeah, our goal is just win it all for sure.
And then, Jordan, your guys' season's over, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys have more matches later?
Next semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does your off season, so to say, look like?
Right now, a lot of the guys have like gotten good at like one character. There's like, I don't want to get it wrong. There's like 87 characters in the game, so like all of them have like different spacings, different options, different moves. So one of the things that coach said like when the season wrapped up, he was like, if you guys want to pick up a secondary, like feel free to go for it. So I think a lot of guys are picking up secondary characters right now. I'm still training on my character, just to get him better. But that's what the off season looks like for us right now.
Is there anything the team does for, I know you said you guys were in John a little bit, but what else does the team do spiritually?
We'll pray before games, and yeah. Well, we also do like semester checkups once a semester, just to make sure we're all doing good mentally.
Do you guys also go through John then?
Yeah, we're also going through John, and like I'd say that like a lot of the times the guys just like bring up just like scriptures and stuff that they're reading. Like just the other day, I think it was yesterday, CJ came up and he was like, "Hey, check out the scripture I was reading," and we just like talk about it, just like kind of casually, in the esports room, in the lab. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, that's what I call it.
So you guys have been obviously a part of the esports team for only a semester. What has been your biggest takeaway from the program?
I'd probably just say that it's a room full of people that are like growing and like are committed to growth. Like, I don't know about Rocket League, but like the Smash Bros teams, we had like a lot of team meetings at like the start of the semester, just like going over like miscommunications, how we were feeling, like how to adjust to like all of us being in the same space and being on the same team. And we handled it pretty well. And like going forward, like we made a lot of changes. We changed the practice schedule a little bit, and everyone's just committed to growing and helping the next person grow as well.
Yeah, I mean, biggest takeaway is like growth. Probably growth takes time. Yeah, like it's not gonna be an instant. Like no matter what it is, like our skill or like mentally or spiritually, like it's a process. It's a journey. So yeah.
You mentioned like miscommunication. So are you guys all talking to each other when you're playing?
Yeah.
I've never played video games, so I don't really know how this all works.
The way that it works is that we're all just like lined up on like a row of like TVs. So like we're just in there playing. Sometimes we'll play against each other. Sometimes we'll watch each other play. And like the way that we would communicate to each other, it was just like a lot of miscommunication. Like for some people, they take it better when they're like, "Hey, that option was awful. Why'd you do that?" And then for some people, it's like, "Hey, that option is all right, but here's a better one." So it was kind of like just like juggling how to communicate when someone's like having issues with their gameplay. That's mostly what it came down to.
So is everyone playing individually against someone else, or are you guys all like...
Sometimes it's just like everyone against someone online. Like we just play online, and because the way that Smash Bros works is that like online, you're either going up or down, and like it's like skill based matchmaking. So, yeah. But sometimes we'll be like, hey, we have a team that's coming up, and they play this character that this person also plays. So everybody will get rounds in against that person, just so they can like become familiar with the matchup and like how to go at it.
Yeah, I will say Smash is more, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's more of like an individual game.
For sure.
Whereas Rocket League, it's like it's 3-on-3, so we're always like trying to push each other. We're always like, yeah, it involves a lot of teamwork, and like we'll get on each other a few times, but like and then we'll bring it back, and then just like any other team, just trying to push each other to get better.
So since it's 3-on-3, how are you guys communicating? Is it just like loud in that room? You guys are just yelling at each other?
We have our team captain, Guy Gibson. He's very energetic and loud. and it could be pretty funny. I'm more of a laid back kind of guy. I'm just trying to like lock in, and then he's like screaming. But yeah, we're just all on a call together, and it's pretty like Rocket League is also a fast paced game, so we're all like trying to like rotate and all this crap and like just figure out where we are. So yeah, it definitely involves a lot of communication.
As we wrap up here, what is each of your guys' favorite memory from, so far at least, from being with this team?
For me, it's probably, so we have this one guy on the team, and he had just like gotten to Smash Bros recently, so he wasn't like the best skill wise, but he grew like rapidly throughout the season, and he ended up in a starting role. Kian, my guy, and one time he's playing a guy that like he should have been like outclassed against. Like, I think he already played against me, and like he beat me, but Keaton starts playing him. He's like going crazy, and the way Keaton plays is that like I said, like the communication thing. For some people, it's better like when they're playing that everyone's quiet. He was just like talking the whole time. We're all just like talking to him mid-match because like you can't coach them. Like that's against the rules. So we're just talking about like whatever. And eventually he like goes for a final attack and he just says, "Welcome to Detroit." And then that was it. Like he won the match, but for some reason Keaton saying "Welcome to Detroit" has stuck with me forever.
Is he from there or something?
No.
That's funny.
Favorite moment, we took down the number 1 seed in game 5. It's best of 5s, game 5 overtime. So it was pretty exciting, for sure. We were pretty excited to win that. And if we didn't win that, we wouldn't be in the playoffs where we are today. So, yeah.
Well, that's all. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with your postseason, and
Thank you.
good luck with off season and next season in the spring. Thanks, Wildcat Nation, for tuning into episode 11 with iWoo's Esports, Jordain Brown, and Jeb Byrd. Make sure to tune in next week as we spotlight the women's bowling team. I'm Abby Harvey with Isaac Wolf here on Wildcat Week, presented by Amplify Media.